What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Manchester United in action again in the Europa League, this time round of 16, first leg up against Real Sociedad away from home at the Real Arena. 5:45 p.m. kickoff tomorrow, and manager is Emmanuel Alguacil. I think that's how you say his name. And Emmanuel Alguacil has only managed Real Sociedad in his career. He first managed Real Sociedad B from November 2014 to the 19th of March 2018, and he managed 130 games with a win percentage of 40, and then he went to manage Real Sociedad for a couple of months, and then back to Real Sociedad B, and then now he's managing Real Sociedad in a full-time position since the 26th of December 2018. He's managed them for 315 games, won 150, drawn 79, lost 86. He's got a win percentage of 47.62%. So in terms of Sociedad's this season, if we have a look at their recent form, they are coming away with a 4-0 loss against Barcelona in La Liga, but before that they also lost to Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey first leg semi-final 1-0, but before that they did beat Leganes in the league 3-0, and then they also beat Midtjylland 7-3 on aggregate in the Europa League to progress through into the round of 16. And then they did lose to Real Betis 3-0 as well in the league. So they're coming in with some mixed form in the league. But you know, they did progress through to the round of 16 by beating Midtjylland. They beat them 2-1 away from home, and then they beat them 5-2 at home as well. So I think Real Sociedad are a decent side. So we are gonna have I think we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble tomorrow. But in terms of the league, Real Sociedad sit 9th in the league. They've played 26 games, won 10, drawn 4, lost 12, scored 23 goals, conceded 27, minus 4 goal difference with 34 points. And they are a little bit away from the Champions League spaces, so they're probably not going to finish in the Champions League spots. Athletic Club are in 4th position with 48 points, so they're 14 points away from the Champions League, but they could finish 6th and they would qualify for the Conference League if I'm not mistaken, and they're only 4 points away from 6th place Real Betis. So yeah, in terms of the league they are looking okay, but in terms of some team news, they've got 3 players out. I think Odriozola, Pacheco and Zakarian are out for Real Sociedad. But in terms of their starting 11, who am I expecting them to line up as? So this is it. This is my 11 for Real Sociedad. Romero in net, Aramburu, Zubeldia, and Elustondo, Munoz, Zubamendi in the central defensive midfield position, Kubo, Mendes, Sucic, Becker, and Orazabal as the striker. So I think he was a striker that started for Spain in the Euro final, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did start. Zubamendi, of course, started. I do remember him starting against England in the Euro final, Euro 2024, that is, of course. But yeah, in terms of how do they play, usually the manager, he sets up his team in a 4-3-3 formation, but it can sometimes do a 4-1-4-1. So in terms of them building out from the back, it is a 4-3-3, but defensively he does like to, without the ball, they like to set up in a 4-1-4-1 formation. The fullbacks usually invert during the build-up, creating more options in the centre and less space between the players. He likes this because he prioritizes playing through the middle. Of course, a lot of teams like playing through the middle. He needs one player high and wide to pull apart the back line, while the rest create numerical advantages in the midfield areas. This builds good conditions in defensive transitions, allowing more players to press when they lose the ball. And they also try to find the number 8s as well, Mendes and Sucic, in the pockets as well. So they like to have a numerical superiority, and constant movement usually means that they have that at least one player will be open in space between the midfield and the back line. He also likes when his teams keeps possession and plays through the opposition as well. One vital tool that they use is third man runs as well. So they often also use counter movements as well with the winger and midfielder to create space in the build-up. So when the fullback gets the ball, the winger runs towards the fullback, dragging the opposition fullback with him. This opens the space behind the fullback, which allows the ball to be played into the open space for a running midfielder. So Defensively, like I mentioned, they do sometimes press in a 4-1-3-2 formation as well. So many teams use a 4-3-3 in the build-up, but this would give a numerical advantage against Real Sociedad 6 midfielders and forwards. Alguacil solves this by leaving the opposition's weak side fullback open and going man-to-man on the rest of the players when the ball gets played to one of the sides. So in the low press, like I mentioned, they do set up in a 4-1-4-1 formation, and that's how they often set up in the mid-block without possession, also trying to push up and press the opposition as well in that mid-block, in that 4-1-4-1. So in terms of the defensive transitions, he likes to position many players centrally as well, creating numerical advantages in the midfield, creates good conditions in defensive transitions. Many players close to the ball after losing possessions means that many players can work towards regaining possession, and his team therefore often regains possession directly after losing it as well. So, I think they're a well-drilled side. I think they should be a little bit higher in the league, maybe not 9th, maybe like 7th or something, or 6th. But they could easily finish 6th in La Liga as well. So I think they are a decent, dangerous side as well. To summarise their tactics, Real Sociedad applies pressure to the opposing central defenders with a high press. The midfielders limit successful passing outlets, and Sociedad can easily shift across if possession is switched as well. They maintain good control of the match through possession and quick ball movement. They look for passes from the back, breaking lines and finding the players in the space between the midfielders and the back line as well. They play with great width as well. So Kubo and Becker, the two wingers, they do provide good attacking width for Sociedad as well. And, so they constantly trying to destabilize the opposition teams through their wide play, and they create numerical advantages as well, which is meant to break down defensive lines. So in terms of their star man, I'm of course going to go with Zubimendi. He was probably like man of the match as well in that final against England. He's a good anchor man. He holds it down in the middle really well. Very good defensively. Very good defensive midfielder. Good on the ball and can also dictate play as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Amarin sets us up in a low mid block, and then Sociedad are holding most of the possession, and Zubimendi is kind of dictating play, because we are away from home against a Spanish side, and it's going to be difficult to get past Sociedad, and especially with our attacking form. I'm not looking forward to it that much, to be honest with you. But yeah, in terms of United though, let's speak a little bit about United. United are coming away, unfortunately, with a 1-1 draw against Fulham in 120 minutes, but we did unfortunately lose 4-3 to penalties against Fulham at Old Trafford. It was a very disappointing loss, especially because the FA Cup was the only domestic trophy which we can go for in terms of winning. We're out of the League Cup, and obviously, of course, we ain't winning the league anytime soon. So the FA Cup was the only chance for us to win some domestic silverware, and possibly, it's FA Cup is probably it's easier to win the FA Cup than it is the Europa League. So the FA Cup was probably our only chance of actually getting Europe the next season. As much as I really want us to win the Europa League, I'm just not confident in us winning the Europa League, unfortunately. But yeah, in terms of United's team news, of course, Bayinde, Evans, Martinez, Shaw, Mainu, Mount, Collier and Diallo are all out with some long-term injuries. A couple of them might be returning at the end of March. But in terms of United's 11, this is who I've gone with. Basically, a similar 11 that I went with before as well. So Onana, Net, Mazraoui, Maguire and De Ligt making up that back three. Dalot, Ugarte, Bruno and Dogu making up that midfield four. Dogu is coming back he's not coming back, but he is domestically suspended, so he can't play in the Premier League and was unavailable for the FA Cup, but he is back. He is eligible to play in the Europa League. So Dogu, Xerxes, Garnacho, and then inside 10 positions, then Højlund up front. Honestly, I would have started Chido Obi Martin ahead of Højlund, but Chido Obi Martin isn't eligible, if I'm not mistaken, to be playing in the Europa League, so he can't play. So that's my 11 for United. Starman for United, of course, is Bruno Fernandes. He creates the most chances, and Man United rely on him the most for goals and assists, and he's been performing lately since Amar's been injured, so Bruno is going to be the star man. So in terms of how do you beat them, of course, I think they do play with a high back line, so exploiting that high back line is going to be beneficial for United in terms of breaking them down. pace, power, strength, unpredictability on the counter. I think if we set up in a low block and then we try to play on the counter, that could be fruitful as well. And also, I think when we are playing out from the back, using the three centre backs to build up, if we allow Real Sociedad onto us, I think they're going to press us high, especially because they are at home. And if we can use the three centre backs on and Onana to bypass that Sociedad press and then get in behind where the space is going to be after they've left gaps because they've pressed, then I think it could be fruitful as well for us going forward. Careful on the set pieces as well, because we've been conceding conceding goals from set pieces. Win the second balls in the box, that's going to be fruitful as well. Wing backs going to be offensive as well. If we can isolate Dogu down that left side, along with Garnacho as well, it could be fruitful if they can get some space in behind that left side. It could be fruitful for us as well. So of course, scoring early is going to help us a lot as well. So yeah, in terms of United, let's just quickly have a look at the Europa League standings. Of course, you can see here Real Sociedad beat Midtjylland 7-3. This was the round of 32 fixtures. The teams that finished below 8th position, they went into a knockout round. So can I just see that playoffs? They're the playoffs, round of 16, and then the knockouts. So obviously the teams that finished between 9th and 24th, they were drawn into a playoff round, so they were played against each other. But of course, because United finished inside the top 8, we went through straight into the round of 16. So now we have a tie against Real Sociedad tomorrow. And then if we do beat Sociedad, we are up against Steaua Bucharest, who we did play Steaua Bucharest in the league phase and we beat them, or against Olympic Lyon. So it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be very tough winning the Europa League, but I think this is our only chance of actually, of course this is our only chance of qualifying for any European football next season. And hopefully we do come away with the win, but it's going to be difficult. I think I'm going to go for a draw. I think both sides are going to score. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw tomorrow, and I think Bruno Fernandes is going to score the goal for United. And I think for Real Sociedad, Oyarzabal, I think that's how you say his name, the striker, I think he's going to score for Sociedad, and I think it's going to end 1-1. Anyway, hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully Man United do come away with the win. It'd be really, really, really important win away from home. It would leave us with less pressure at home to actually do the job. Hopefully we can come away with the win, but I don't see it happening. Anyway, hopefully I'm proven wrong, and hopefully we do come away with the win. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you after the match.